I would like to ask you about RI in practice. What does a RI project look like to you? I know it will be different depending on the type of project, who's involved and all those kind of things. I'm just trying to imagine a project in action from your perspective. What generally happens? Who's generally is involved? Whether you have example to share with us.
Yeah, an example. Perhaps let's look at the issue of care robots. So it is still a bit futuristic, but there are already many stories about it. And there are developments towards having care robots in some future. Now there are different approaches possible. The classical approach in, let me say, an old-fashioned innovation system would be, well, some companies think about this, they cooperate with some scientific institutions, with robotics institutes, and so on, and they think about, well, what could care homes and people in care homes perhaps like to have? And then they start developing processes, develop prototypes, and so on. And in the traditional way, they go to care homes only at a late stage of the development process. We had, in Germany, we had many experiences in the preceding field of AAL, ambient assisted living. There was huge public budget spent into develop technologies in this AAL sense, for example, to allow older people to stay longer at home. But these failed. They were technically wonderful, but at the very end, the market did not accept, because these people, older people, they had different ideas than compared to those ideas the engineers had thought they would like to have. So this is, I guess, a lesson to be learned, to go to care homes, to talk to care personnel, to talk with the relatives, to talk to the people living in care homes as long as possible, in order to, let me say, to develop a requirement analysis. Now, what do they really want? And in that case, I guess there's a much better chance that after the development process, after the innovations are ready for market, that they then also will be accepted. So I guess this is a kind of win-win situation. Yeah, the care homes and the older people, they will benefit from this because they will be able to make use of the new technologies, and also the companies will have a benefit because they will be able to sell their products. So that's good for both of these groups.